Hey guys, welcome back to some more AFK Arena. Today we're back over in the test account and we are going to be looking at Hildwin. Now we already looked at Gwen, kind of ran him through the trials. I want to see, or ran her through the trials. I want to see exactly how well he works. Now overall, he is a mage, continuous damage. Now one thing to note with him is he is the leader of the dragons. That is right. You can't have two dragons that run together. So I believe Hildwin and Gwen, you cannot run together because you won't have both dragons that are doing the dragon things that they love to do with the fire and also with the ice. But overall, this hero reminds me a lot like we see with the Awakened version of Belinda, that we see with Eugene, that we see with Ainz. Seems like overarching, it is just a massive amount of damage that he does, and it's kind of AoE damage, so it does hit a majority of everyone on the battlefield. So let's go to, I'm thinking 460 to start. Now I want to run through here and just kind of see how he works first off. So of course, here we have him with a couple different dragons. And then I want to go through, and again, I want to kind of see the survivability. If we're putting up front as a mage, how is it going to look? But what exactly does it look like? So he gets a shield, and you can see the dragon damage that we have kind of going on everywhere. We have the little bubble up, so I don't even know if he's going to get to the dragon form, which there it is, guys. So as a fire-breathing dragon, that again is kind of crazy. Like when I think of the AoE that we see from everyone, 33, 30, and 35. So still doing a considerable amount of damage, even though pretty much everyone was dead at that point. So let's see what he looks like frontline. And again, I know power-wise, we're pretty similar here. Now he summons all three of those, as you can see, these little sigils that are right on the ground. And of course, there we didn't get to see him ult either, but the sigil's 88. So again, putting out a ton of damage. I feel like we have to put this up a little bit higher. Let's hop out of here and see if we can put this up. Let's put up another 100 levels. I'm just wondering again where his damage is going to kind of come in at, because it's very interesting to see. So this should be a lot more difficult with the damage. So he puts up those three sigils on the ground. Now you'll notice that fireballs come out of those sigils. So it's almost like cross damage that he is kind of throwing out there. Now, of course, there's the ult, but I believe we only have the one target left, or might even not have had that target at Brutus. Boom, 138, 139, 113. So again, doing a pretty considerable amount of damage in there. Now here, let's drop out Leica. And the reason I want to do this is I want to see, let's drop Aethys in here, and I want to see kind of what the tanking aspect looks in here. And I think Aethys might be in another combination. There he is. Again, I want to see kind of what it looks like as a buffer in here. And overall, even looking at, running artifacts in here, I'm not going to bother because, again, there is so much RNG with collections in here. You have a ton of different things. Of course, he comes out, he puts out, again, all three of those little sigils in the ground, and then they shoot fireballs. So you can see it's almost like we see with a game where literally those fireballs are just bouncing out everywhere. But there is the massive damage. And his ultimate just looks broken as can be. It seems like it is just absolutely broken in there. 245 million damage. And again, stacking him as the only damage dealer in there does make a really big difference. And that's where I'm wondering, kind of hand in hand, what is it going to look like if we're putting some other heroes in here to really compete with the damage and getting the buffing. We're going to have to see where he kind of comes in. Now, again, he sits right here. Again, very similar to Ainz. That's almost what he reminds me of, where he just kind of chills, takes all this damage. Boom, there's the dragon aspect. Massive damage on everyone left on the battlefield. And look how fast he ulted again. Now, we kind of seen that same thing with Gwen. Is Gwen actually ulted super fast within formations. 194, 195. We're even seeing a little buff out there with the Awakened version of Lucius. Now, of course, looking in here, whenever a Draconis hero is deployed, all allies receive +2 attack, +2 health. I believe that is with the event they have going on. So you actually have another tower that you can build up the Draconis heroes. And I believe the buffs are going to go to everyone within there. So again, pretty cool looking. Now let's see who is Ivan dropping on. And I believe when Ivan ults, it's going to go probably, and it did, it went on Hildwin. Boom, there's the ult. Now he comes down. Let's see where the energy kind of lands. Full again. Guys, if you can get his energy going, that is a lot of damage he's got to be putting out in there. And there is ult number 3. We had 3 ults in 17 seconds in here. 412 million damage. Wow. That's kind of crazy with the right formation that you can just kind of spam ults in here. Now let's see the crowd control. Now remember, with the Frozen, the ability to crowd control with Amelia is going to do more energy regeneration. So let's look at Hildwin, because of course with them Frozen, if he's doing damage, and I wondered if his Fireball gave energy there. And I'm wondering again, damage for damage, what is it going to look like when he's running hand in hand against Rem in this formation? Now, of course, you can see Rem with a big shield right there. Fire just coming out of everywhere that Hildwin is. He's really cool. I'm pretty impressed with the heroes, with the dragons overall. I know a lot of players are really concerned with building them and how exactly that's going to work. So 162, 153. So again, not hugely broken, but I could see if we're stacking some buffs behind him, exactly how effective he would be in formations. And again, it almost does remind me of just a massive AoE, like I said, with Belinda, with Ainz. Just seems like a very, very massive amount of damage. And Polina goes down really quick. Cassius looks like he's going to go down as well. But let's see what this looks like damage-wise. And there's the ult. Boom. Now this one, we have, of course, everybody up right there. Cassius being our tank. And Hildwin, of course, when he takes fatal damage, remember, he does teleport away. But it doesn't look like we're doing too much. Again, damage-wise, and there he goes. So he teleports 3 times. So he took all 3 of those sigils on the ground. We get another dragon. But again, I don't think he's doing enough damage on these targets to go ahead and take the targets out. Wow, that battle just seemed all kinds of messed up. Yeah, 360 million. That, well, the tank's up front. So we do have the tank up front. I'm wondering, you know what? Let's run 2 dragons together. I'm wondering, because we have Gwen in here, what this is going to look like, kind of running them together. Now, I think it said 2 dragons can't be up maybe at the same time, but let's see if we can get the crowd control from Gwen out here. And there we go. So there's the ice. So that is going to, of course, provide an incredible amount of crowd control. Hildwin, so yeah, 2 dragons at the same time, guys. Wow, you talk about some damage with some crowd control. And Gwen is ulting faster. We're seeing fast, and it seems like she does a lot more damage than what Hildwin does. Yeah, 899. Look at that. That is our support hero. 700, and again, looking at 246. I feel like these 2 are kind of broken. Now, again, I want to hop out because I want to see the support hero in here. Again, pretty interesting right here in the back. Let's look at them. She is right here. I'm almost wondering, guys, how much you could kind of amp up some of the damage in here. Again, let's put in like an Aethys in here. I'm just thinking like the normal attack factor. And of course, when the tank went down really quick, but let's see what this kind of looks like. Nyla, of course, very quickly putting up that ultimate. Boom, we got those puddles going up all over the targets. There, of course, is Gwen. And look at them just frozen, guys. Frozen in shields and everything. So they're in bubbles. They can't do anything in here with Nyla. Again, there's another dragon. Here comes Gwen. So he's going to come down. Boom, he's down. I think there might be a cooldown timer in this before we can have another one. Look at the battlefield. It is just, wow. That is pretty impressive. That is pretty impressive right there, guys. 768 million damage. Nyla seems pretty broken. Again, that is definitely something that we're gonna have to look at in there. But Nyla looks pretty broken. Wondering, let's go ahead. There we go. So Peanut's got the mitigation. Now Hildwin, again, not a pure damage dealing mage, but overall I feel like we should be seeing a little bit more damage out of this hero. And of course, you'll notice when he teleports around, the sigil on the ground actually disappears, meaning that with that sigil being gone, he doesn't have the fireballs anymore. It's only shooting the single fireball you see right there. We are not seeing all of those fireballs. Yeah, and again, it doesn't seem like his damage is super impressive. I'm not too impressed overall with this hero in comparison to Gwen and Nyla. Yeah, that's pretty interesting. And again, the ability to do damage to take down these targets doesn't really seem to be there. Again, I'm a little disappointed because, of course, like we said earlier, he's kind of the king of the Draconic. I think that's kind of how the story went. Again, has the cool looking orb, even got the buff right there for Ivan. Really amplifying the energy regeneration, amplifying the damage he's putting out. And I feel like that's the reason why they gave us the free copies. Gwen is the one you're going to be looking for. But again, I like Nyla. That was very impressive. And again, it seems like we're not getting... And he keeps ulting over and over and over. Fireballs are flying everywhere. I don't know. I mean, I don't feel like I'm very impressed with his performance. Even there are 2 billion there from Shamira. Yeah, so they might have just built him a little bit too defensive in nature, because even here the magical circles shifts into a dragon again. I know they're reducing the attack frequency, increasing the power of the next 3 fireballs, but again, the damage with him doesn't really seem to be there. I know the damage reduction, again, I feel like they could have done more damage, but he's a lot more defensive in formations. Even here, here's the damage reduction, here's the snare, here's the crowd control. Yeah, there's another crowd control. Pretty disappointed with Hildwin overall, just based on the damage that he puts out as a mage. Seems, again, a little bit more of a blend of a support hero, but overall, I am not super impressed with him. But all right, guys, that is going to do it for today's video. Let me know in the comments what you guys think of Hildwin. And as always, thank you guys for watching.